So we're going to do a demonstration on watercolor to get ready to paint our expressive composition. I do have live students in front of me right now, and they are going to be listening and following along as you guys are doing at home. So I have my setup where I have a little square piece of paper. It's about 5 inches by 6 inches, or 5 by 7 actually. And I drew some pencil lines onto the paper, dividing it up into about 10 sections. These 10 sections will be painted in as you practice. Here I have a piece of clear plastic I put on white paper in order to mix my colors. And what I'm going to be doing is, you can use also a paper plate at home or a styrofoam plate to mix your colors. Here I have my watercolor palette. If you need watercolors, please contact me and you can pick some up in the main office. So what's important to remember about watercolors is you need water, all right? So that's really important. You want to also go ahead and have your palette. I set up my palette and my mixing stuff all on the right-hand side because I'm right-handed. And I have my little cup of water too and some paper towels in case I need it. All right, so you want to go ahead and dip your brush into the water and figure out what kind of colors you want to play around with first. So I'd recommend playing around with the colors that you came up with your color scheme for your expressive composition. So I'm going to stick with all cool colors. So I'm going to go ahead with my brush. I'm going to put it in the blue watercolor. You need to kind of scribble that brush around in there to really get a nice vibrant color. So you want your colors to be nice and vibrant. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to work that pigment into the water. And I'm going to mix it with something else. So I'm going to put it on my palette here. All right, now I'm going to wash my brush off and go for another color. I love purple. I'm going to make blue violet, so I'm going to come over here and get some purple. Twirl, twirl, twirl. Really get that pigment in the water. And I'm going to go over here and add it to my blue, so I have a really nice blue violet. When you go to start painting your paper, you want to work on your brush control. So watercolors will create like a puddle when you go to start painting your section, and you need to pull that puddle over the space that you want to cover it. Once you lay the color down, you want to leave it. Don't go back over it with your brush, all right? It's going to then become muddied and not look that fresh and vibrant color. The next thing I want to do is I don't really want to paint any colors right next to that section right away, or it's going to bleed together. Or maybe you want that effect. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a red violet now. So I'm going to come over here and get some purple, add some purple on my page, wash off my brush so I don't contaminate it with the red, and twirl the brush in the red color to get a nice vibrant red to make my red violet, like so. I need a little bit more red. All right, so if I want the two to bleed together, I'm going to make sure that I have enough red violet in my brush and paint it right next to the blue violet that I just painted. And you're going to see that those two will bleed together. Now, if it's not bleeding as much as you want, I'm going to wash my brush and I'm going to come back over here, get some blue violet, and put a little bit more blue violet down here, and hopefully get it to get them to bleed together. You can encourage it to bleed by tilting your paper a little bit, so you get that really cool effect. If you don't want things to bleed, you don't want to paint them right next to each other, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, work on painting another section and trying to make it so I have that nice, bright, vibrant color. If for some reason I have too much paint on my paper, I can take my paper towel. You can see I have a little puddle of paint there, and you can dab it with the paper towel and it lifts it right up. All right. So go ahead and finish this little square and we'll see what it looks like.